Joining me right now is AccuWeather long-range expert, meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Joe, lots to talk about as we get closer and closer to the month of July, but let's review the tape from last week.
All right.
Joe, it's all about where that upper high is going to be.
It really is. This is basically a dome of heat, a dome of high pressure that's going to just produce tremendous heat and humidity across all of this area, from the Plain States and Midwest all the way to the Ohio Valley. 90s, there's probably going to be a few triple-digit heats, a lot of record. And as disturbances come through the north and west, they go over the top of this ridge. There's probably going to be some shower and thunderstorm activity in here Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. And some of that will creep eastward, and as it does, it may have a tendency to chip away at the heat as we go toward Thursday and Friday.
Pretty much that's how exactly everything worked out, Joe.
It did. And I think one of the things that we can talk about for next week in our three things to know is that the heat is gone, the extreme heat. That doesn't mean we're not going to see some 90s scattered across the country, but that persistent upper 90s near 100 heat with a high humidity, that's gone. That's off the table. Don't be surprised if you don't see that again for the rest of the summer. That kind of extremity in the mid-Atlantic. Stormy Independence Day concern from the plains to the Midwest. We'll keep an eye on that. Watching for homegrown tropical development late next week. So those are some of the three things that we're looking at for next week.
Joe, before we can talk about where we're going, let's talk about the pattern and why it just got so hot this week.
Yeah, I was talking with our long-range team lead, Paul Pastelok, and he was suggesting that we kind of look where we are and where we're going and how we're going to get there. This is what we've been dealing with, this big upper-level ridge of high pressure, and it produced the extreme heat from the Midwest, St. Louis, Chicago, all the way to Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C., and it was dry and comfortable in the west. As we go toward the middle of July, that's going to change. The upper level ridge will be centered more over the Rockies and the interior northwest. A little disturbance is trying to kick in from the eastern Pacific through the northwest. The northwest flow here, though, means active weather from the central and northern plains and Midwest into the Ohio Valley, and a tendency for less heat, less oppressiveness, if you will, for the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So that's the good side of it, but the bad side is you're going to have some active weather in here. That's where we're going. To get there, you're going to be spinning the roulette wheel, if you will, and as that happens, you're going to see some showers and thunderstorms primarily afternoon and evenings, West Texas and New Mexico. This is kind of like the ignition of the monsoon season there. Most of the west, hot and dry, maybe some spotty thunderstorms in the Intermountain Northwest. Keep an eye on this area for Independence Day, really Thursday night into Friday. There could be some showers and thunderstorms, a lot of bit of rain there, and maybe some severe weather. In the east, it's most active across the first half of the week. It should tend to dry out later in the week, which means good news for you on Independence Day in the Northeast.
Tropics have been quiet, Joe, although we did get a tropical storm, Andrea, for about 10 minutes north and east of Bermuda. But we talked about homegrown development. That's what you typically see this time of the year. And there's a little area we're going to keep an eye on. It still seems like a very low probability.
I think so. I mean, there's just too many things going against it. But this is the area. It's underneath the belly of the high, as you were talking about earlier. And it was this area from the central northern Gulf across Florida, the southwest Atlantic. If something's going to go, that's the area of concern. I think in the main development region of the tropics, nothing's going to happen anytime soon.
AccuWeather long-range expert Joe Lundberg. Joe's back with us at 9:15. AccuWeather Early continues after this.